Hey everyone, I'm so glad that we were able to get together today. I have not only just a phenomenal person, but a friend of mine, Fatima. You guys may know her. She's such a beautiful queen in the vibe, if you know her personally like me. So I said, why not start with my girl, Fatima? Um, I'm on a new business venture and we're really excited to be merging nail behavior with Flex Pilates Plus. And so this has come to mind, and I definitely believe it's something that we need here in the community. And my girl is definitely supporting me here, Fatima. And so we'll be talking about movement. Is the medicine for wellness, body, mind, life. And here we have Fatima. What's up, girl?
Hey, girl. Hey, how are
How are
you?
you?
Good, good. Definitely here to support
Good.
the medicine.
Awesome. So, if you want to, I've talked about you, but if you want to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, where you at.
Sure. All right, let me do the little 30-second spiel because I know I do a lot. But I am a multifaceted entrepreneur. So I run several different brands. I have a female gym and wellness studio called The Whole You. I have a mobile beverage and bartending company called Badass Mobile Bartending. And then I also have a more of like a mentoring coaching sisterhood business called Office Badass, where we work with female entrepreneurs who are kind of new in the industry.
All the things, all the things. So, I'm really proud of you doing
Thank
your
you.
thing. And so, basically, we are here for discussion. We're talking about movement as medicine. And I just want to get your thoughts on that. And we're talking about movement is medicine. Personally, my own story. First of all, used to train me back in the
Did.
day, and my story with her. Listen, we're doing these jumping jacks now. I remember just my eyes was like big. I was like, okay.
I don't
I'm
have time to
like,
play
oh
with
my
you.
gosh. So let's talk about this. When it comes to movement, and you think about movement is medicine, like what are your thoughts on that?
So the interesting thing, and we kind of chatted about this when we connected last week. That is the mantra this year. In terms of how I want to show up in the wellness space and deliver opportunities for women to get whole and to get better. So when I think about movement as medicine, I think about movement in general, intentional movement. That can be strength training, that can be yoga, that can be Pilates, that can be walking outside for 15 minutes a day. Movement is the medicine. That is the baseline for long term health. That is the baseline for protecting our joints and just being able to do the things we did then later on in life. I also like to call it aging gracefully. So that's just like the shortened version of movement is medicine. We can go down a lot of different pathways, but I just want to make sure that people have a resource and a lane that they feel comfortable, an entry point for moving our bodies.
Especially as we are getting seasons, our bodies are like constantly changing.
Yeah.
I've always understood that, yeah, movement and moving your body is really important, and also like what it does for your mental health. So there's so many benefits to that. Sometimes, excuse me, something in my eye. You can always tell too, like when you're not moving, you don't feel great. But I always say too, sometimes like when you are moving your body intentionally, you never regret it afterwards. So it
Yeah.
always feels good. Um, and so my next thought is, I want to pick your mind about this too. Is what are some things that you personally do every day that, like, what are your rituals or something that you need to do and helps benefit you?
Yeah, I love that. And I do have systems and rituals in place that, like you said, when you're doing the things that you know work, you do those things and you feel better. And sometimes it's like you're thinking about it and you're like, oh my God, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to drink my water. I got to get in a gallon a day. I got to hit the gym. I got to do 45 minutes of strength training. I got to make sure I hit some cardio. I got to make sure I sleep and recover and rest. But those are some of the things that are baseline to making sure I can do everything else. As I introed, I do run 3 brands. I am a wife. I do have 2 bonus kids. We have some dogs as well. And it's like that requires different types of Fatima. So in order for me to show up and deliver on those different things, I have to take care of myself first. So first thing in the morning, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna have a tall glass of water. And it sounds weird, but I always tell my clients drink water before you drink any coffee or caffeine, just to get your system moving and going. From there, I'm usually at the gym training clients, and then I have a hard non-negotiable at 9:30. You can't really do me to get me to do too much around that time frame because that is my moment when I have protected to get in my training for the day. From there, I'm eating whole foods and nutritious foods. I have went off the deep end, if you will, before and just had my way with food. But the thing, and you said this just a little bit ago, when you're doing the things that work, you feel better. When I do the things that don't really work, you're like, man, I don't feel as great. I don't feel as alert. I'm kind of sluggish. So eating whole foods is really important to me. And then rest. Rest, rest, rest. I can run myself rampant running all these businesses, but I know if I have a hard stop at 9:30 every day and I can get in bed, I can wake up the next day and perform how I need to and interact with people how I need to. I'm a different person when I'm sleepy versus when I'm not. And so I have to get rest at night. So those are just some of the baseline things. I have non-negotiable days. I have no days on my calendar. And I don't leave any conversation like, oh, that's a no day. I can't do it. But it's simply I'm not available because as I look at all the things I'm responsible for, I have to protect Fatima time. I have to. And so Sundays,
Yeah.
uh, I call it soft Sunday. So Sundays is a day where I'm like, I'm not really interacting with other people. That is my day to kind of restore and replenish so I can show up the way I do the other 5 days of the week.
I can hear her. I can't hear.
Here, I'm gonna.
I appreciate when you said that you have like a non-negotiable. I feel like I believe sometimes, especially people who are like people who want to start um, moving their bodies, or sometimes people just don't know where to start, and then sometimes people don't know where to find like that motivation to get up and be like, okay, I have to, it seems that it's more of a chore. It can be sometimes for people. And so, even just like speaking, for myself, but what I do know, like once you get into routine, it just becomes easier and easier. So, is there any advice that you can give us in terms of, how can we process this in our minds to be like, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm actually going to do this? Like, what are some things that have helped you? Or I'm sure you talk to many of your clients that just have a hard time being motivated or getting motivated.
So I would say a couple of things. One, community has been really important. And so I would say find a space where you feel like you belong, right? Like you feel accepted. Maybe they're doing some of the things movement wise that you want to do or are doing. And that may not be your sister or your friend. They may not be at that point, but it's like, okay. And I'll just use the whole you as an example, right? Like it's an all female gym. That feels like a connection point for me. I'm a woman, right? Another connection point could be, oh, they have yoga class. Okay, I'm going to start moving and just go to yoga class. That's one thing. If I think about just the grunt side of it, it's like don't outthink yourself from doing it. Sometimes we lay there and we're like, I gotta do it, I gotta do it. I always tell people it's a 3 second rule. 1, 2, 3, go. If you get to 5 before you start moving, your body already starts processing, talking yourself out of it. Don't give yourself that much time. If you know that I have this goal and I want to, right, lose this weight or I want to feel whatever it is that we can talk ourselves out of anything. This doesn't have to even be just about fitness or weight loss. But if I know I got to get up and execute and produce to get that thing done, I got to start moving. And it can be little movement. It can be like, yo, I'm gonna start with a 10-minute walk every day, 3 times a week. I'm not asking you to give me 45 minutes right off the bat. That might be too much. But once you start, and then I always ask people to reflect a little bit too, because if I do that 10 minutes and if I'm real with myself, I feel different after that. If I've really processed that 10 minutes to be like, dang, I feel better. Dang, I actually cleared my mind a little bit. Dang, I like feel that feeling so that you can then, your body's going to request and require more of it. And then it becomes a habit. And like I said, you create those non-negotiables like, yo, this is what I do on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 a.m. or whatever your time is, whatever your sweet spot in between all the other things that we all manage. I'm not the only busy person in the world, but once you find your window, protect it at all costs because that is your moment to be able to deliver everything else.
Yes, exactly. I love that idea of saying 1, 2, 3. I've heard speakers use that, like that 1, 2, 3, like it's real and
Mhm,
you gotta hit it. So thanks for sharing that idea. I think that's really important.
mhm.
So let's get into like food and nutrition. And so what does your day look like? What do you eat,
Oh,
girl? Cause honey, the
nerd.
body is bodying.
I am kind of a nerd when it comes to food and taking care of my body. So I can be a little extreme depending on what season I am in and what my goals are. I'm gonna just talk like a normal person. When somebody comes to me and they're ready for training, nutrition, I tell them is 60% of the journey. Everybody thinks like, oh, I'm in the gym, I'm sweating, I'm grunting, I'm hitting these weights. She got me doing burpees. Yes, but that's only 20% of the journey. Believe it or not, 60% is going to be nutrition, 20% is going to be us in this gym, 20% is going to be how you rest and recover. But I'm gonna focus on nutrition. So once we sit down and we start talking, my question to you becomes what are your goals? Because that's going to determine how I'm going to ask you or influence you to eat. If you're like, I want to see a 6 pack, I need this waist slim and trim. Okay, baby, we're going to have to cut some sugar. Like, tell me about your diet. Like, let's talk about it. Right. So, depending on what each individual's person's goals are, I'm never going to tell you food is right or wrong. I'm going to ask you what your goals are because depending on what season you are in with your goals, maybe you can have some liberties. Okay, go ahead, have 2 drinks a week because your goals right now is just to maintain, right? Or if you're like, oh, I got to lose X amount of pounds. Okay, honey, I'm going to ask you not to drink for 90 days, right? Like, how important is it to you? And then that becomes the conversation and the question. The other thing I would really like to highlight in this category is nutrition, especially for women and especially for aging women, right? Those of us who are over 45 or 46 or 47, right? Perimenopausal women. I would ask us to really prioritize protein. And that can be anywhere from zero point 0.8 of a gram to 1 gram of your desired body weight. That's what I'm asking for. And people are like, that is so hard to achieve. Well, we can get real savvy with how we get our protein intake in. And that's when you get either a dietitian or a nutrition coach. I'm a nutrition coach, so I can help you get the adequate amount of protein by building it into throughout your day. Me, I eat 3 meals and 2 snacks, and I drink a lot of water. So I have a regimen that I follow for 4 weeks. I am like a robot. I do not want to think about my food. I do not want to worry about what I'm eating day in and day out. So I follow the same program for 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, I changed my program because to me, if I have to think about my food all the time, decision fatigue kicks in. Now I'm grabbing stuff that don't really make sense for my goals. And if my goals at that moment of whatever fitness season I am in is that important to me, then I need to be proactive. I need to be planning. I need to be ahead of that. But I get to decide that based on where I'm at in my fitness journey at that moment. And that ebbs and flows. I'm not always about to go stand on stage. I only did it once. I plan to do it again, but that's a very different season than Fatima who just want to look good on the beach, you know? So the question goes back to, when somebody asks me that, I'll pose it back and I'll say, what are your goals in this season? And then from there, we can decide what your nutrition needs to look like. You might be like, sis, I'm good. I don't really need to lose no weight. I just want to feel good. Okay. I still want you to eat this, that amount of protein and, but it definitely fluctuates based on where we are personally.
Yeah. I love that because I've seen you transition. Like I'll watch you on social media, Instagram. Like I'll be like, ooh, she cleaning up for summer. She about to do this. Like you can just see how you just go hard, and I love to see you do that. So that's
Yes.
really encouraging. I love that. All right. So you mentioned you do. You said you do how many meals, and you have a couple of snacks.
Yes, three meals and two snacks.
3 meals. Oh, and then you say so. I imagine that are your meals like the same exact meals, or are they it's a little bit something different? Like, do you do your 3 meals are the same meals? Okay. So
Nope.
just
So it,
oh,
mhm. Yeah, it'll be like a breakfast meal. So me, I'm really, like I said, the protein intake. So for breakfast, I may have some egg whites, some oatmeal, and then I'll put a scoop of protein in my oatmeal. That's breakfast for me. A snack might be maybe a rice cake with some almond butter, and some cinnamon on top. That's a snack for me. Lunch is going to be very basic. Give me some protein. It can be fish, it can be chicken breast. Flank steak is another really lean protein. And then I'm going to have a veggie and I'm going to have a carb. I try to keep my carbs in the upper part of the day. So that's my oatmeal, that's my brown rice. An afternoon snack for me might look like tuna and almonds. So I got a protein and a fat. And then an evening dinner is going to be protein and veggies. So I might do fish and asparagus. I am very basic.
but like you brought up how just like aging women who are aging, and you really do just want to feel good. Like I know walking into my 40s, I've completely seen how things have changed. You know what I mean? And so being a person that um enjoys like I know I feel good when I'm moving my body around and when I'm drinking water and like everything is clear. It just feels good. And so when you're off, you're just off. But I understand the importance of like being consistent in that and just wanting to feel good consistently. And
Mhm.
so your ideas are great. Like I believe I'm the same way when it comes to I don't want to think about what I'm going to cook or like it just starts going everywhere. So if you are prepared, I know that's a big thing. I remember you telling me that when I trained with you. Girl, like you have to prepare because I'm like, well, I'm just going to go grab lunch or order food or somebody send me some food. Like that ain't me. That's not the life I'm trying to live no more. So just being prepared is a huge thing. I know people say it all the time, but it really truly makes a difference. So thank you
Mm,
for sharing that.
yeah.
Um, so, and then, that speaks into like longevity. So, what you mentioned, it might not be your homegirls or your best friend, whoever, like finding something that works for you in terms of like finding a gym that speaks to you, or even if you're moving at home. I know I've gotten on YouTube before and stretched and felt amazing. So, there's plenty
Mhm.
of channels on YouTube to hop in to that will support all of that.
Yes.
Okay, moving on along. Um, and then let's talk about like consistency.
Mhm.
People tend to start something like sometimes even in speaking for myself, like you sometimes you get in a space to where you fall off. Like consistency is everything. And sometimes you're in a space that as we age, you're doing it over and over and over again, but you're not seeing any results. And that is so like that's a lot. Like, okay, what am I even doing this for? Right. And so can you talk to us more about what we can, what kind of tools we can use to just help us to stay consistent?
Yes. And I love the word consistent, but a word that I love more than consistent is discipline, because consistency has some level of emotional connection to it. Discipline does not. So I'm going to throw all my thought process out the window because one, we already talked about the different benefits of doing the things, being, exercise or movement. I'm going to call it movement because it can be anything that's movement based. We already talked about the benefits of nutrition and how we feel better and all of that stuff, right? So if I know the benefits of these things, I'm going to remove the emotional element of it. I just got to do it. Discipline. But in that discipline, and you talked a little bit about being bored, that's when it might be time to, okay, I've been doing strength training. I'm going to take a break from strength training. I'm going to do Pilates training. I'm gonna do TRX training. Like I'm still gonna move. I'm still gonna do some type of resistance training, but maybe I need to change my modality a little bit. Maybe I need to try a new gym for a minute. Maybe I need to, but I'm not stopping. I'm still going. I'm just changing something. Maybe I need something that's gonna excite me. Maybe I need a break from, whatever. And so finding different pathways to stay disciplined in the journey. And I want to use the word discipline over consistency because that's really what it's about. And when I think about discipline, I think about doing it when I don't feel like it. Right? That's just like us running a business. If we know we got to be consistent to run a business to pay the bills, yeah, we know that. But we got to be disciplined. We got to show up even when we don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? We got to, because if we don't do that, then how does our business remain successful? My body is my business. And that is a business that comes before anything else because I can't show up and train nobody if I don't have a body. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if we reframe how we even think about it from that standpoint, I promise you, like everything else starts to fall in place. And that's how I have managed. I'm 48. I've been training since I was 31. And that's a long time. And I hated it in the beginning. I'm talking, let me get married and get in this dress, and then I relapsed in my mid 30s. I got comfortable, wiping it up, cooking. But then the feelings kicked in. I didn't feel great. And I was like, that actually felt better when I worked out. And then it started to unravel for me. So it took a while. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, I know what it feels like when I do it. I know what I got to show up for. I know what I got to do. And I need to be whole when I do that. And in order for me to be whole, I got to sleep well. I got to eat well. I got to move my body. I have to. That's non negotiables. So take the emotion out, give me discipline. If I get bored, let me change the scene a little bit. There's times I leave my own gym and go train somewhere else. There's times I leave my gym and go train with a coach because I need a different push. Fatima may not have a push that she need to give herself, but I have resources to keep like my foot on my own neck in my journey. So nobody's perfect and we all can use a bit of community and support in this. That's what this world is about. And we've seen the impact of that when COVID hit and we couldn't even interact with people. We damn near lost our minds. So community is important. It don't have to be a lot. It don't have to be big. It don't have to be ongoing, but there's iterations. We need that interaction. So that's what I would give for discipline. I don't want to call it consistency, but if we want to use that word, that's great. But I would prefer we think of it as like, how can I just be disciplined for real? And just do it when you don't feel like
Yes.
it.
And that's Fatima, y'all. That's Fatima. This is why I
Listen,
love
let
you
people know
because
because when I start
your
preaching,
deliverance is so beautiful and it's so helpful. And I am so motivated to just share more. And this is why we're starting this because this is about building a lifestyle that's going to last for years to come. And
yeah.
so if anyone's having a hard time or just going through transitions, people are going through a lot. And I definitely know that I'm ready to personally start moving my body again. And I'm excited about Flex because I'll be able to maneuver myself, in between clients and take classes and sharing my growth and what's changed, for myself, but also being able to support others. Like you have supported so many people and just watching you. I think sometimes when you're in it, you don't realize like what you're doing. It's probably strange to say, but when you look up and people are like, oh, you're like, oh wow, I've done this. And so sometimes you got to sit back and be like, oh, I'm proud of myself. I've done
Mhm.
this and I've come this far, and I'm proud of you. And I thank you for being on this show this evening. Can you give us your Instagrams, your social medias, and share all that with us, please?
I can. But if I can just take a moment before I do that, I want to encourage you. I do. I feel really led, like just knowing you, being a part of your fitness journey as your coach, becoming a good friend, and all of those things. Like, and then you sharing this journey of what you're stepping into and how you plan to attack it and just be in it. Like, I really feel led to encourage you. And I also want to say from my heart, like, I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you for a lot of reasons. Like you said, you putting it right in your space. It's something that you know you want and need, and other people need it too, right? And so you're delivering it in a way that God spoke to you to do that. And that's going to resonate with a lot of people. I mean, I heard your vision. I'm like, yes, that is dope. The other thing I love is, just us being able to share space in that. That doesn't always happen when two people are doing kind of the similar same things. But I want you to know that, like, I am a resource for you in a lot of ways and in whatever you need. And you said something that I reflected on a few weeks ago, and I was like, you have done a lot. You can share a lot. You can be, and so just know that you got that tenfold with me, like you can always. My Instagram, gosh, which one do I want to give? Let me see. Hit me up on Jim Badass. Yes. Hit me up on Jim Badass. I just signed up for a High Rocks. I'm going to New York, so I'm going to be sharing my journey. Just go over there, Jim underscore bad underscore ass. It is connected to the Whole Youth Studios page, and that is just the Whole Youth Studios spelled out. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. I'm much more active on Instagram, y'all. So I will get to Facebook. I'm coming, but Instagram is where I spend my time. So that's it.
Say she has a lot of things going on. Bartending, there's so many dope things. I've had the pleasure of us just kind of connecting each other and moving in that way. But hands down, love your business, love what
Thank
you're about, love your professionalism,
thank you.
all the things. You are truly, genuinely a gem. So if you guys don't know, now you know. This is Fatima. Thank you for joining our show. We'll be back again.
Yeah.
You can follow Flex Pilates Plus. So if you guys are interested in knowing what's happening at Nail Behavior, we have that going on. Follow the page for all the things that are coming with Flex Pilates Plus. So thank you. Thanks, Fatima.